Secure the border. I believe in immigrants to our country. They're is such an important part of the fabric of our society, our democracy, the energy that we have in our country. So we want to make sure that legal path is open and that we make our system work. And so, my daughter-in-law is from Chihuahua, Mexico, and she's first generation immigrant here in our country. And so I understand the role that they play, but we do need to have the integrity along the border, make sure we can secure that, both because of the fentanyl that comes in, but because of the human suffering it has caused. So that would be a priority of mine. Once we do that, we can look at more comprehensive reform. The main principle would be to compete economically and to make sure that we continue to be the #1 economic power in the world. Secondly, that we want to make sure that the freedom of Taiwan is not jeopardized, and that we support our military presence. And then thirdly, that we recognize China as being a player economically in the globe as well as militarily, and we want to make sure that we have a good line of communication with them. And I don't believe that war is inevitable. I believe that we can, through our strength, make sure that we maintain peace and we can compete with China and make sure that the United States stays #1 economically. Well, Hutchinson voters are in that room today, and whenever you look at the fact that we in Ohio we've moved up ahead of a number in the polls. So I haven't even campaigned in Ohio yet. I'll be going there. And so my national message is getting out. So we're going the right direction, and you see the other candidates, other than Trump, who's up there steady, but DeSantis has fallen. The others are not gaining, and so this race is wide open. Obviously, Trump's got to be taken on. I've done that, and he's got to diminish his numbers if anybody else is going to win. And we're going to be the one that makes it clear that Trump is not the leader that we need in our country. The debates are an important part of that. We've got to remember that it's still early in this campaign, and there's a lot of time for Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, those early states to have their voice expressed.
I know I see your statement on affirmative action yesterday.
So I comment on affirmative action and then the student loan. I mean, they made the right decisions. I supported it. And on the student loan program, that is a usurpation of congressional responsibility, and the president doesn't have that authority, and that was the ruling. And also, I disagree with the blanket forgiveness of student loans, because that's not fair to those students that have paid theirs off or did not take on a loan, and all of a sudden they're paying off everybody else's. And so, there is relief that's needed, and primarily it is in lowering the interest rates. That would help those students just to have a lower interest rates in the student loans that they have, and that's something that can't be controlled. And so those are a couple of things there. That's all I'll comment, I think, on those cases. And juries have found them guilty, or they have pled guilty in many circumstances. And so I have confidence in that. There's, from time to time, errors that are made, injustices that happen, and that's whenever you look at the use of the pardon, but I don't know how that would be applied. I think it is important not